You put your feet up.
I ever tell you about the time I was at FIBO and, I went over to see Flex Wheeler when he was with Biochem.
No.
And Flex had a director's chair and it said Flex W on the back. Like one of those chairs that fold up.
Yeah, yeah.
And Flex was sitting there and had his foot up on the table like this. He had sunglasses on. He's like, hey, Jay. He was one of the first guys I ever met when I moved to Venice at Gold's Gym. He was always polite to me.
Yeah.
Of course he said hi to Kerry at the time, Which
Of course.
It's kind of funny, but I got to sit and have lunch with him not too long ago.
Oh, yeah?
And we got to reminisce. On the old days, and he was talking about his Venice house, like he bought from Ed Connors, and
yeah,
he said, "Man, I wish I kept it." I always tell that story, I remember thinking though, Dave, like back then, I did that first trip to California the year that Chris Cormier won the USA, and the reason I went because Chris Aceto was training Mike Francois for that show, and then Paul DeMeo used to train under Chris Aceto, but he left and went to that McNeil guy that Dexter used the year he beat me at the Olympia. Remember that Joe McNeil?
Joe McNeil.
So a lot of people were using him, and so he had he's like, listen, Mike looks really good. He was showing me pictures, and Mike was crazy, man. Mike was like, he's one of those guys came in, he won his first pro show or whatever right away. He was like crazy as an amateur. Way better than what guys look like today, And so Chris called me and said, hey, you should go to this USA. And we were still busted at the time. I mean, I was still doing the golf course job. And he's like, hey, there's this misprint in the Boston Globe newspaper for round trip tickets for $99 on American Airlines. And back then, it might have been US Air actually, before they merged. And he said, why don't you call and you can get these tickets because they have to honor the ad. Chris was smart. He used to read the newspaper every day. So I remember calling, and literally at 11:58 at night, I finally got through and they're like, well, sorry, that was a misprint. And I'm like, well, no, you have to still honor it. They're like, yes, okay. So I booked a ticket for Kerry and I to go. And at the time, this guy Marty, was kind of a guy that was introduced to me through Ed Connors and Chris and whatever through the Teen Nationals. Said, hey, get this hotel. And I remember it was on Lincoln somewhere, but it was way down. You know where it was on Lincoln? By the 10 freeway, bro.
Oh.
It was by. Mom's calling.
Hey.
It was by the 10 freeway on Lincoln, so think how far that is, right? Dude,
yeah.
I walked to Gold's Gym. I walked to Gold's. How far do you think that is?
Yeah, that's...
So when I went to train at Gold's, Kerry and I walked there. And at the time I had on the Atomic shoes and I had the baggies, and her and I walked, and she was probably in tights, And we walked to the gym, and we went to Gold's Gym. We paid whatever the day pass was to train there, which probably was $5 or $10, right?
Yeah.
And we're walking to Venice, and I was like, man, I saw Wheeler and all these,
How was it the first time you ever walked in there?
Bro, it was just it's like, you know what it was like, Dave? I'll explain. It was like going to an expo. Because that's how many famous people were in and out the front door. When you walked up, just like now, you walk in and someone of somewhat notoriety is always, if you sit outside and eat your meal after training, there's always someone walking by that you oh, that's a familiar guy, right?
Yeah.
It was 10 times more back then.
Yeah.
So I walked into Gold's, her and I, we started training, and that's when Ed Connors came up to me and said, hey, where are you guys staying? And he about shit himself when he heard, I told him where we were staying. He's like, oh, you can't stay there. And that's when he invited her.
Roach Motel.
Yeah, he's like, man, I got to get you out of there. So he checked us out, and he let us stay at his house. And he had that crazy house on Ocean Walk, right there.
What did you guys think? You and Carrie, what the shit? Holy fuck.
At the time, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Now, I had known of Ed Connors because I had asked Chris, like, oh, who is this guy? He's like, man, he owns Gold's Gym. Like, and I thought, oh my goodness, like,
Wow.
this guy wants to take care of us. Like, he must see, like, potential in me,
Yeah.
right? So, he moved us into his house for that week. You know, I think we went for, like, that week. But we used to eat at the Marina Pacific Hotel.
Yep.
You remember? They
Yep.
had the breakfast place downstairs.
All bodybuilders would stay there. They had suites, like little
Yeah,
apartments.
But they had the best breakfasts.
Yes,
And
downstairs.
Gary Stridham was eating there.
Yep.
I remember going at that time. You'll love this. After the USA happened, because the USA was held. I'm trying to think. That was '93. It was held like in the Civic.
It's Santa Monica.
Yeah, so it was
Yep.
like close to Gold's, you know?
Yep.
Where is that? That's like right.
It's close to.
It's like past Firehouse. You go down. It's on the right side before you get to the mall, right?
Yeah, it's close to 3rd Street and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where they had the show, and David Zelon promoted the show. And if you remember, David Zelon did that movie Never Back Down. He like became a movie producer, you know. And he did the USA. He used to run the muscle camps back in the day, and some of our viewers will probably remember the muscle camps. Wait, that was even before my time. Lee Haney and all those guys. Rich Gaspar used to do muscle camps. But I remember going out to eat after the show with Stridham. Dave Lieberman was there. Paul DeMeo came. And Lonnie Teeper was there.
Oh,
and
man.
I remember Lonnie was the total journalist then, you know, and he was like razzing on Gary. And Gary ate so much food, bro.
I know.
I'd never seen anyone eat like Gary Stridham.
He could eat.
And every time I'd go to the Firehouse or go to that Marina Pacific, that's where Gary would eat out every meal of the day.
Every meal.
Every meal.
Must have cost him a fortune.
Yep, he would just be driving around. He drove a sick like BMW 2-door at the time, the 850. Remember that there was like a 2-door BMW.
He always had money, as far as I remember.
He always paid the biggest contract in WBF at the time. And he had Crazy Wear.
Yeah.
Remember?
That was a Max Muscle store before I bought it. That was
really?
Crazy Wear store.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we all went to eat after. And then Ed, said, listen, I want you to come back at the end of the year, and so we decided on a date to come back, and I didn't come back with Carrie, and I remember I missed her so much, that was the first time I had been away, and I went for a month to Venice, just before I went after Thanksgiving, and just before Christmas, I went to stay in California, and Ed had a bike for me, and I used to ride, and we had house guests like crazy. I think Priest stayed at the time, and I think Jim Quinn came when I was there. But this guy Louis Colomb lived with him. He used to take me to the movies, and he would bring me to the supermarket, and I would go shopping, but I cooked my food. And all I did, bro, twice a day I went to Gold's Gym, and I trained, and I watched these people. And that's when Steve Neese from Muscle Beach,
Muscle
Gossip
Mag.
or whatever.
Yeah, Muscle Mag.
He shot me and said, oh, who's this guy? On the last day I was there, actually. But I remember coming back from that trip, and everyone in Worcester was like, holy fuck, you got huge in a month.
Really?
Yeah, because, dude, I was laying around just sleeping. And Ed will tell you, I slept, all the time. And all I did was train and eat and sleep. And I got so big. I was a little bloated because I was eating a lot more, eating out and stuff, and eating pancakes. And they taught me, eating there, I learned how to eat better from the guys. Okay, you can eat a little looser or whatever. And,
That was your oxygen back then.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Huh?
I went away and stayed there, and then that's when
Immersed.
I remember, leaving and thinking, okay, I'm going to come back here in 2 years. I'm going to compete in a show, and I'm going to win, and then I'm going to go to the Nationals after that. And that's when I came back. I came back for the Tournament Champions, and then, I met Irv Gelb, and Irv's like, listen, I'll come shoot you in Worcester before your show. And he came and stayed with me 3 weeks out. He went to the gym every day with me, shot me in my backyard. That picture in the towels in my backyard, that Muscle Mag cover. And he shot me in the Nautilus Plus and Bill Ricca. And it was kind of weird though, because I remember training, I ended up driving to a gym in Bill Ricca, Mass, and that was 45 minutes from me. And I was training with at a gym where Paul DeMeo used to train at when he actually moved back. Remember, I don't know if you remember, he was in LA.
He was in California. He had a
and then
Metrics
he got sick of
contract.
it. Yeah, and then he got sick of it, and he moved back to Mass.
Okay.
And he stayed back in Mass for a while. But dude, he was so popular when I was up and coming, man. Like Paul DeMare was like
Quadzilla. Yeah.
that's all people talked about out here was this guy with the legs, you know. And he used to guest post in like the Terminator outfit, like he'd come out with a leather jacket and all that. Like man, that was bodybuilding was exciting then. Like it was kind of like cool. And then Farnsworth was living out here, and I remember when I moved to California. I remember the first week he moved to California, he came to visit me in OC, and it was awesome, man. Just a lot of great memories.
Wow.
A lot of great memories to, you know, how it all started. Oh, Daisy, you gotta come over here, huh? Daisy never. Come here, Daisy. Come on. Everyone always asks about Daisy, and I never have her in the video.
She's kind of camera shy.
Yeah. There you go. These are my two precious babies. But I remember when I left. You know when I left to go to California is when I bought our first dog. You know, I bought a dog for Carrie, like called Scuttles, and it was because I was leaving to go away for the first time. You know, and she lived at my house at the time at my.
So during that month you're talking about.
Yeah, I got the dog because I'm like, oh, she's gonna be lonely without me being there. You know.
Was she worried about you going to Cali for a month without her?
No, because she. You know, we were super close then, and she was working, I think, at the time. She was doing her nursing stuff. You know? And I think she had almost graduated by that point, or close to it. But she was working at a doctor's office while she was going to school, and you know, we would train a lot together. But that trip to California, that first time, bro, that's when I knew. I fell in love with bodybuilding. You and I talked about like when you went to California, you're like, oh my God, I want to live here. And
yeah.
Do you still wake up every day like, I can't believe I live in this?
Always.
Like when you drive to Venice and you park your motorcycle outside Venice and you're like, fuck. I wake up in Vegas some days, bro, and I'm like, I remember coming here in 98 for the first time. 97. I came for the 97 USA. And I've been thinking, oh my God, this place is like a whole nother world from where we come from, right? And I still wake up every day and I'm like, I look at the mountains and stuff and I'm like, I can't believe I live here. This is amazing.
Yeah, I feel that way. I just realized, you know, I live somewhere, and so do you, where people save an entire year to come and spend a week or 2 weeks on vacation, you know, and that's what they look forward to the whole entire year. We live here every day. We can get to the ocean. It's just great, you know. We're lucky.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, that was my dream. And people say, well, how do you get the courage, or how do you make the decision? And you know what? Happiness in life is the key, right? I mean, I think people just get too used to routines, and they need to change, like what kind of life, if it's not the true happiness. I think no matter what, like this thing still that I want to do on a daily basis, right? That I'm like, man, I envy this person or that, and that's kind of the problem with social media. Daisy, come here. Come here, Daisy. That's kind of like I envy, like some people's simplicity, because I hate traveling every week. Although I leave those events and I'm like, man, people like I change people's lives, right? Because they tell me their stories and they can meet face to face, and that motivates people. But like I just want sometimes like total peace. You know what I mean? I miss riding my motorcycle on the Pacific Coast Highway, and like I remember telling you a week or so ago, I'm like, I'm getting the itch to like have a motorcycle again. But you know, I get it, never ride it. You know, Larry just sent me Mike is selling his Razor. You know, the Razor, the 4-wheeler, they sit in it with the roll cage and all that shit, like the 4-seater.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, he's selling it, whatever. And I'm thinking, man, maybe if I took that, I would take it out and whatever. I got 2 quads in my garage. I never even ride.
You never use them. Yeah. That would make great videos, running the quad somewhere.
Yeah. But you know what the thing is we always say that would make a great video, but we got to do what we do, because that's our real shit. And people love about what they love about our videos is it's all real. I can sit and reminisce like a young kid. Like, man, I remember going to Venice Golds, and you know, they had the offices to the left, right, when you stand in front.
Yep.
That's where the corporate offices were.
That's where Ed used to work.
Yeah. So I remember Ed would be sitting there all day, but he had a little window in the gym. There was like do they still have it?
Yeah.
You can actually see, but you can't see who's watching you.
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's up there on the second floor. It's like, you know.
Is it in the back by the cardio, or?
I think so. Yeah. There's like a passage there. Yeah.
And he used to watch what was going on, and that's when he spotted me and Kerry.
Really?
Yeah.
How funny.
Yep.
he is so good at spotting talent. He still does it. He does it for wrestling now. But,
he told me, though, he's like, you guys are like the only couple I ever let stay at my house. Like 2 people. He's like, I didn't want to be responsible for anyone getting pregnant at my house or whatever.
But you always like Carrie.
Yeah, he loved Carrie. He came to our wedding, you know.
Wow.
So,
That's
it was pretty
awesome.
funny. He was like a father figure to me at Connors, you know.
And he's still, you know, he's always talking about you. Every time you come by the store, every time he
Where's
has
he living now?
I can't keep tabs on that. He's
I know,
always moving.
He was here for a minute, and then he was in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see him soon.
Yeah,
Probably at Olympia,
I'd love
right?
to see him. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, sure it'd be at the USA, but I'm not.
Yeah, we're not gonna
be
go.
there.
Yeah.
We'll get some good content in San Jose.
San Jose.
That's my reminisce a little bit about, you know, that 1993 USA. God, it's so long ago.
What would you call this piece?
I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, it's good. It's great you still remember that. I mean,
Dude, I remember the smallest details.
I know, it's like, you know, people probably just assume you take all that stuff for granted. And
I remember the time when, like, even when I liked Venice, right? But I remember when I planned to move out there, I remember Mike Canberra, who was from Boston, like, no, you have to move to this place called Aliso Viejo. And luckily I came at a time when the real estate was down and on its way back, so within 6 months I bought a house, you know, moving there, but he like helped me find the place, and I remember 6 months prior I had put a deposit down to reserve a 1-bedroom and put myself in debt for the first and only time in my life. And
that's a big deal, your first house in Cali, though. It's like, man, that's cool. I'm already here, you know?
I tiled my garage floor. That's how particular I was about. Like Chris Aceto always tell you, yeah, Jay was so neat with all his stuff, you know? That's why it kind of drives me crazy. I come in this office and everything's kind of like all over it's getting a little cluttered, you know? I'm running out of space for certain things.
I know.
But I do need to hang. I have a ton of stuff I still need to hang. I've been saying that for like 2 years on these videos. But it's like I come in here and I shoot a lot of the content because this is where people want to...
They want to see.
You know, Singerman just hit me up about the USA, and he's like, are you going to be there Friday? I said, no, man, I'm leaving for San Jose. He's like, man, we really wanted to see The Office. Everyone wants to see this shit.
He's never seen it?
No.
Wow.
Like, I had some service guys come the other day that were doing the AC units. And the guy's like, I knew you from somewhere, because the kid trained, he was skinny, but he's like, when he walked in here, he's like, oh my God, this is how I know you, you know. They don't really put 2 and 2 because I'm not the size that I was, right?
Yeah.
And people always ask me that, do you ever miss being that big?
I know.
Fuck, I don't miss it at all.
I know. You still look big.
That's why I give you such a hard time, because you still love going to the gym and like being a full-time, you know?
And then 13 minutes. People notice the time you say that stuff. That's so funny.
Full-time bodybuilder.
How often did you hear it last weekend in Buffalo?
Oh, they fuck. Where's Dave? Where's Dave? You're getting pretty famous, dude.
That's funny. I don't know why. Oh, God.
Because they just think it's just, you're dedicated, man. We really should do, if you could, you should need to find a picture right now and post it on the screen.
Okay.
Of that picture of you on the couch at 275 or whatever.
Jeez, I know.
And say, this is why I'm the way I am.
Yeah, I need to find those fat pictures.
If you posted a couple up right now, people would be like, damn.
I'll look.
And you should post up what you looked like then to now. I think you should do 2 side-by-side pictures and put them on the screen so people can know why.
I think I have one.
Why you're a full-time bodybuilder.
Yeah. Because I can't.
But everyone asked me, when's his show?
Yeah.
And it's undecided, I said. I said he's been a little sick right now.
Yeah, I have a hard time eating this stuff. I think November would be a good time to do it, like in Vegas. Are you going to be around for the Vegas Classic? Or?
It depends what it is. I have my show the 26th.
Yeah, I think it's early November.
What's usually the first weekend, but I think I'm somewhere on the 2nd. No, I'm not actually, but I might be in Virginia for the 2nd.
Oh, okay.
November 2nd. So you can do the Vegas Classic.
I'm thinking about it, yeah.
You
Austin's nice, you know.
You and, who's the kid that used to work the store, that slept in the store?
Alex? Is Alex doing it? Oh, God.
Well, I'm sure.
Wow.
Alex, if you're out there, man, hit us up, man.
I know. We miss you, man.
He used to work at the store. Right?
And next time
It was not late.
you go to the Olympia or something, don't fucking wait 3 hours in line. He waited
Did he
3
wait
hours.
in?
Yeah, you remember?
I
He didn't
don't
want to bother us. I'm like, you're nuts. Yeah, we like Alex. All right, cool. That was a good one. We'll have to think of a good title. Do the Lion King.
Like this.
Ta-da! All right.